happy whatever day this is, because time is not like a real thing anymore, so there's that. I'm Robin. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. So I believe that life is too short to read a book that you are not enjoying, unless that non-enjoyment of the book brings you joy. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head, so I'm sure it makes sense. But there's too many books to read and not enough time, so I cannot spend it on something that I do not like. With that said, here are some books that I did not finish. And while I'm going through this list, if there is a book that you're like, no, you are 100% wrong, you need to give this another chance, go ahead and make your argument for that book respectfully in the comments, and I'll maybe I'll reconsider. Who knows? First, we're gonna start off with a booktube darling. People love this series, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I admit that I am not necessarily the target audience for this book, but that shouldn't mean anything because I read a ton of YA fantasy stuff, and so like this one just didn't hit right, and I could tell didn't even get very far in this one, and I could tell that I hated this. I didn't even get very far into this before I realized I didn't care. The writing was boring, the similes were just like god awful. I hated the characters. I didn't, and the plot was meandering, and I didn't care. So I quit. I can't say much more about this because I didn't get very far, but if you are one of those people who love this book, tell me why. No, really, like I really want to know why. So, yeah. Next I have Lincoln in the Bardo by Saunders. This won the Booker Prize in 2017, and it was really well received on BookTube, and I think that's where I first heard about it. And this is President Lincoln's son Willie dies at a young age, and he's stuck in this weird purgatory-like place in the graveyard, and there's a whole host of characters. Some are protecting him, some are helping him get through purgatory. Others are just there. And there's some appearances from President Lincoln. And I want to say I didn't jive with this because it was literary fiction, but normally I'm mostly okay with literary fiction, the weird kind. But this just wasn't it. It was going nowhere. The characters weren't developing at all. And I wanted to be this bored, I would have died. Joined him. Probably would have been more interesting. Next is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. And this is about a girl who keeps dying, but she comes back. She's reincarnated every time. And she, I guess, to live a better life than her previous life. Same family, same circumstances, but it's just the incident that happened to kill her or make her die never happened. So that sounds really interesting. How many ways can a person die and come back? And the most interesting part was her dying. It was so incredibly slow for me, and it just wasn't going anywhere. And the characters weren't written in a way where I was like, oh, I'm liking this person, or I'm liking There was nothing really enjoyable about this book. It was bleak, slow, never ending, like her deaths. Okay, so yikes. The next book I DNF'd hurt so much because I wanted to like this book so much. I wanted to really enjoy this series, and I didn't. I gave it a really good shot. I read like 400 pages of this, well over 50%, which is much more than I give a lot of other books. And that is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I wanted to love this so much, so much. And I was so bored for 400 pages, just bored. And we spent like 700 pages talking about this birthday party. I want to say we talked about we took another 200 pages to talk about sweeping probably somewhere. I don't know. We talked about the most mundane things for so long, and I just did not care. For this to be a book about a journey, it's like we never went anywhere. I know I'm in the minority on this. I know. And let me tell you how disappointed I am. I'm so disappointed because not only did I have this book, I just knew I was going to love this, but I also have the second one and the third one because I knew that I was going to love it. I did not. I did not care. I didn't care about, you know who I really didn't like? Fucking Tom Bombadil. Those damn songs. Another thing, hated the songs. Was tired of every chapter having a fucking song. Like, y'all.
Stop.
Get on with the journey. And just so you know, I watched the movies. I love the movies. And that's why I thought I would love these. And the fact that it's a beloved series. But it wasn't for me. There's probably no convincing me of trying to reread that ever again. Not gonna do it. And last but certainly not least of these is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared by Jonasson. Jonasson? I don't know. Now from that title alone, it sounds promising. You have an old dude who climbed out of the window and he just vanished. Like, why did he leave? Why was he risking his life climbing out of a window to never come back again? Like, dude is 100 years old. Like, just go on and keep doing whatever you're doing at this point. I started this and realized very, very quickly that whatever was deemed as humor was not for me. Like, it was corny, and not in a good way. I love corny jokes, but this was just not funny. Think about it. Think about the shenanigans that a 100-year-old man who climbs out of the window could get into. And maybe those things happen, but I'll never know because, like the old man, I climbed out of that story and also disappeared from it because I was like, I'm never coming back to this. It's so boring. It was marketed as like a humorous tale, and maybe the humor was lost on me because it was not funny. I did not like DNF. So those were some of the books that I quit. And so now I'm asking you, should I continue on with some of these? Should I let them go forever? I'm probably going to let most of them go forever. Especially the 100-Year-Old Man. There's no argument you can make for that. And the Fellowship of the Ring. I mean, you can make your argument for it. In fact, I hope that you do. I hope that someone in the comments can convince me otherwise. But we'll see. So, what are some books that you DNF? Let's talk about it in the comments. Leave a comment, a question, a joke, some song lyrics to go with Fellowship of the Ring. If you've stayed this long, then you should go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, bye.